Bonjour, hello everyone. Hope you're doing all right. Um, I just had a little bit of a memory come back, so I thought I'd tell you a story of when was it? I was 17. It was 1999. My first illegal rave. Um, I went there with Luke Stallwood, Jason Stallwood, and my friend Greg Combrink. It was Luke's birthday, so his brother took us. And we went. It was an illegal rave. It was an Exodus free party. Exodus did the biggest raves ever. Um, it was up at Luton next to the motorway, and I remember we had to. This like mobile phones are out back then, but you had to have money to have mobile phones back then. You know, you had to have some serious money. They were not cheap. They were the mobile phones aren't like what are now. You didn't have internet, and if you did have internet on your phone, just going on the internet for a second would cost you about £100. That's how bad phones were back then. So whenever we went to a free party, it was all like you arranged to meet in a car park somewhere with 20 other cars, and then and the car at the front with nowhere to go, and you would follow them to where the party is. Anyway, we got to this party. I'll never forget. There was a big farm gate, and it went into a field. And there was a guy stood there with a bucket, and he's going pound for a sound, pound for a sound. So I had to put a pound in there. We got into the party. There was a massive stack of speakers, massive generator next to it. Loads of people. There was like 1,000, maybe more people there. Um, and it was sick. It was my first ever free party, and I loved it. 17 years old in the middle of a field, couldn't see nothing, pitch black, but the music was pumping. All you could really see was the car headlights from the motorway, which was next to the field, flying past. Anyway, so night's gone on, we're there dancing away in the field. I remember I lost everyone, and we'd already agreed that if we got split up from our group, we'd all head towards a certain area. So what we decided was there was a big generator near the speakers, so we'd all meet up there. So I'd I'd taken a pill, some ecstasy, stupidly, being young, dumb, and all that, So anyway, so I've gone. So I'm stood at this generator, and completely buzzing. I'm not gonna lie, tripping, looking around, happy, enjoying myself, having a great time. Um, but I'd lost my mate, so I was a little bit like, "Ooh, where is everyone?" And obviously, I'm just staring at people as you do. You're off your edge. Oh, is that my mate? No, it's not. Oh, is that my mate? No, it's not. Anyway, all of a sudden, I thought I'm just gonna walk away from where I was. So I start to walk away from where the generator is. Next thing I know, the music stops. So the music's dun dun. It goes boo, and the lights, everything go out. And then the next thing I know, I've got all these people throwing themselves down at my feet, grabbing my legs. And at this point, I am literally absolutely cacking myself. I'm thinking like I'm getting mugged, and I can't. I'm not with my friend. I can't find my friends, so I'm just stood in this field, like literally, get off me, get off me. Now what it was I hadn't noticed, but I'd wrapped my leg up in the generator lead. So when I've walked out, I've pulled the power out, turned the whole rave off. And then obviously they've all jumped on top of me trying to get this thing off my leg, trying to unravel this thing off my leg. But I didn't know. I'm just sat there like, oh my god, like absolutely, petrified. I thought I was getting dragged away, like mugged. I don't know. And then all of a sudden I clocked that I had this wire wrapped around my foot, and they were just trying to get it off. And this person's going to me, calm down, mate, calm down. We're just trying to get the wire off your leg. Anyway, whew, that was okay. They got it off, plugged it back in, music went back on, and lights all went back on. Everyone started dancing again. And then all of a sudden, my mates come round the corner and they all look at me and they go, "Oh, Dugan, did you see that? That everything just turned off all of a sudden." And I explained what happened. They laughed their heads off. It was so funny. I mean, looking back at it, obviously at the time it wasn't funny for me. I was scared, but yeah, so my mates, they all laughed about it. So that was my first illegal, my first ever illegal free party when I was 17. I actually did go to a legal party when I was 15. Don't think it was some big adult rave. They used to do a thing called evolutions. Now, anyone who's around my age or older will remember Milton Keynes, the Sanctuary, right? They used to do some big nights down there. Dreamscape, all the Helter Skelter, all the big raves were held at this sanctuary in Milton Keynes. That they used to do one called Evolutions for younger kids. It's like a hardcore and drum and bass night, and they had some big names there like Slipmatt, Kenny Ken, Mickey Finn, DJ Rap, DJ Dougal. Not me though, but that's what they used to call me, Dougal, all the time when I was younger. Um, yeah, that was my first legal one that I went, and I remember I went with Greg Miles, Ben Baker, I believe. Um, Trying to think who else I went with. Phil Dujak that I went to school with. Yeah, there was that was like you had to be 14 or over to get into that. But that was a big night. That was a well big night. Obviously there was no ecstasy taken back then. I was only 15. But yeah, so that was my there you go. That was my first illegal rave, and also I just mentioned my first legal rave. And I went to many more after that. Best of British, Slamming Vinyl, Rain Dance. Used to go to Camden Palace, Peach, last Friday of every month. Used to have some big names there. Um, and free partying, used to go a lot. Used to do a lot of stuff. Used to go to like Tunnel Crew parties, um, Coalition. Who else? There's loads, man. There was loads. Like I can't remember half the names. Many moons ago. Um, but yeah, I used to I love music. I absolutely love music. Sort of growing out of dance music a bit more now, as I've got older. I'm more sort of just listen to hip hop a lot now. Um, but my last rave that I went to was probably in around 2014. Love going to concerts, big music concerts. I'm actually going to see Snoop Dogg in March, and he's going to be supported by Exhibit, D12, Obi Trice, Warren G, and the Dog Pound. Now, Warren G and Snoop Dogg are on my bucket list to see, so the fact that I'm going to go and see them two, that's just amazing. And I'm hoping there might be a few more surprise visits from people. As Snoop Dogg has just made a massive a new super group called Mount Westmore, which has got Ice Cube in it. So if he turns up, I'll be a happy chappy. Yeah, I'm going to see Snoop Dogg with a very good mate of mine, Mr. Chapman, James Chapman. He's taken me. Well, he took me to the Eminem concert in 2014, where we saw Dr. Dre together. And I'll tell you a little story here about when I went to go see Eminem and Dr. Dre. So obviously you have acts. So the main act was Eminem, but you have a couple of acts before, and they always have a little bit of music and people standing around waiting for the next act to come on. Anyway, at this point, I drank so much vodka, and I'm kind of known by a lot of people because I like to do something called the Sea Walk or the Crip Walk. So I've had a few drinks. When I've had a few drinks and the West Coast hip hop comes on, mate, that's it. I'm shuffling along to it like no one else does. So anyway, I've started sea walking in the middle of Wembley, and I'm just proper into it. I'm going for it. I am literally, my feet that were like going so quick. Next thing I know, I look up and I have a circle. I'm at the front of Wembley, right near the stage. I have a circle of people around me, watching me do my thing, cheering me on. I've got Chapman, Tyler, Ryan, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they were there as well, and they were literally mouths, like their jaws were on the floor, and they were going, Dugan, what? That, like screaming. Now I wish someone had filmed this, yeah, because literally I've gutted. Like I think Chapman's phone had died. I think most of our phones had died because we've just been filming like all day, taking photos all day. So I did this sea walk, and I'm literally just going for it, and then literally all of a sudden, next thing I know, all these break dancers have jumped in the circle. I've got people break dancing, caterpillars, back flipping, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, kids. I've got these kids coming up to me going, "Mate, how do you do that at your feet?" And I tell everyone this. Yeah, it's heels to toes, heels to toes. That's all it is. Yeah, I'll do a little video of me crib walking. I'll show you how it's done. Yeah, but I had all these kids come up to me. They were loving it. They were like, "Oh, show me how to do that." So I'm showing all these kids how to do that, and people come up to me going, "Mate, that was sick. Where did you learn to do that? How do you do that?" Like literally, I'll tell you how I learned to do this. Um, my very good mates Ollie and Eddie Bates, they got an auntie called Amy, and many moons ago, she worked in this like camp where they send young children that are involved with gangs to these camps to get them away from the gangs, and these young kids taught Amy how to sea walk, which she then come to England one day to come and see Eddie and Ollie and Melinda and all the Bates there. And then obviously I've started to. She showed me and Ollie and Eddie how to sea walk, and I just carried it on. And literally, and I'll tell you something right now. When I go see Snoop Dogg, I'll be doing my sea walk. Trust me, that'll be a definite. Anyway, again, this one's more about music. I just thought I'd get a bit of my music fit into it. You know, like the parties I've been to, the raves, concerts. I've seen Eminem, Dre, Cypress Hill, Exhibit. Um, I've seen Elton John, Eric Clapton, Chris Rea. I've seen Linkin Park. I've seen Jay-Z. Um, Obi Trice, 12, 50 Cent, Ed Sheeran. I've seen a lot of live acts. Also like punk acts as well, like Goldfinger, Less Than Jake. Um, yeah, I love music. Like literally, I've been to a lot of concerts in my time. Um, yeah, I've had some great times. Music is just it's food for the soul. It's the best thing ever. It's just like when you're feeling low, put music on. It can rather make you really low, or it can bring you up high. But 90% of the time, it'll bring you up high. But anyway, again, thanks for tuning in. This was a bit of a music podcast. I hope you enjoyed the couple of stories that I put in this, and please keep tuning in, please keep watching, and please share with your friends. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon. Bye.